Okay, I'll be recording it for the benefit of everybody. Then I'll share the screen. It's a small little PPT where Saima, of course, can add her valuable inputs. Okay, can you guys see the screen?
Yes, we do, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. This is basically not only for you, for 4 or 5 people here, but also for the others who are interested. Saima ma'am will confirm Pilates is best learned in person. I mean, it's like doing MBBS online or doing martial art online. But then we also have to look for via media in today's times where, like, for example, Sai is sitting in London at the end of a long flight, Air India flight from Mumbai to London, and still is enthusiastic enough to do a Pilates course. Or Gatha, I think probably she's outside India. And then we have some people from outside Mumbai wanting to do the course. So there are advantages of online, there are advantages of offline. So that we will, of course, everybody will discuss that as we go along. We need to make the most of what is available. So I will try to answer a few typical frequently asked questions which have not been answered by Saima ma'am in her videos, or those lovely videos that she made for us. One thing is we do 3 different types of Pilates courses. One is, of course, the Pilates on mat, followed by Pilates on ball, and then comes Pilates on reformer. Now, the first question here is asked, can I do Pilates on reformer directly? The answer is you ought not to. You cannot do MA without doing BA, and you cannot do BA without doing the 12th. But then the comparison is not correct. It's not very accurate. So you will say, oh my God, that means I'm doing a very basic foundation thing called Pilates on mat first. You know, it hurts the ego. It hurts the intellect. It's not like that. In fact, across the world, Pilates on mat is the advanced thing. In fact, our international approval is for Pilates on mat. There is no international accreditation or EREPS level 4 for Pilates on ball or Pilates on reformer.
Yep.
So that shows the importance given to Pilates on mat. The idea is that if you can master those 145 or 150 exercises on Pilates on mat, then you are good for Pilates on ball and Pilates on reformer. If you can master Pilates on ball and reformer, Saima ma'am can please correct me because she is the one who does Pilates, not me. Then probably you are good enough, competent enough to go on to Cadillac and all the other things that come into play. It's like asking, can I do Pilates only on barrel or chair? Because Joseph Pilates used whatever was available to him in his prison camp during World War I. Because he was a German alien, he was put behind the bars in Great Britain. He was not a German soldier. He just happened to be in England, so he was put, and whatever was available in his prison camp room, the bed mattresses became, the springs became the reformer, what we call as a reformer. So the basic thing you must do is, the foundation thing, if you really want to pursue a career as a Pilates teacher, as a standalone Pilates teacher, or you want as like Srinivas and Sudeep or even Sai want to do that, you want to add Pilates as a value addition to what you are doing to your existing fitness practice, then Pilates on mat is the way to go forward. And this is not what Dilip says or Saima ma'am says. This is what Joseph Pilates himself said. And we have been following the traditions since 2009. The reason is, when we tied up with Pilates, it was with what is known as the Pilates Institute of America in 2008. At that time, there were only 3 American institutes for Pilates. One of them was Pilates Institute of America. The one of the 2 founder directors was Frances Puglisi, a British woman married to an American guy. And note this name down, Lolita San Miguel. They were working together in Florida, and I happened to meet them there, and I really liked the way they did the work. And I said, okay, we will tie up with these people. So their academics, their body of knowledge became the foundation of what Saima ma'am teaches now. And Lolita San Miguel, even today, I think her age is 90 now. She is the only living teacher to have been trained by Joseph Pilates himself. I do not know how many teachers Joseph Pilates trained, maybe 7 or 9 or 11, I'm not very sure. But they are known as the elders, the seniors in Pilates. And she is the last surviving, and I think she's the only one who is now living, the living elder. And she is the one who helps. Even today, I'm in touch with her. In fact, she's, even despite her age, she wants to travel to India to do some workshops and, help develop Pilates in India, because like her, we also believe if any exercise form from outside India is suitable to Indians, it is Pilates. The reason is 99% of Indians do not want to become a bodybuilder or a marathoner. Average Indian wants to become lean, wants to lose fat, wants to develop flexibility, wants to have, keep away from obesity. And Pilates is the kind of exercise for that. Pilates does not need high investment, etc., etc. So we do this in a gradual manner. In fact, in America, probably, I think if I remember correctly, there you would need to have at least 3 to 6 months between Pilates on mat and Pilates on ball, and then I think another 3 to 6 months between Pilates on ball and Pilates on reformer, because even you guys will realize after you do the Pilates on mat, it takes time for you to digest the knowledge. It takes time for you to practice it, and it will take a little bit longer for you to start enjoying Pilates. Unless you start enjoying Pilates, there's no Pilates on mat. There's no point in going to Pilates on ball. So that's the first question that I wanted to speak to you. Now, I don't want to get into what Pilates history was and all that, because this, of course, it's there on Google. On the internet, it is very much part of your syllabus. Pilates benefits, everybody knows that, lean body mass, all that. So here again, I don't want to get into it. The picture that you see is, of course, Saima ma'am. She is the one who's going to teach you. And I'll go straight to what we will be teaching online. Now that most people want to do it online, for one thing for sure, it cannot be 100% online, like the way it was during COVID. But we are equipped to do online, or let's call it blended. It is basically online plus home practice plus offline. Offline in the sense what I like to call in person, where you will be sitting in person with Saima ma'am, and she will be teaching you the nuances. As I was mentioning to these guys a little earlier, intercostal breathing or horizontal breathing, those basic principles of Pilates, scoop, imprint. Saima, I would like you to explain this a little bit later in the talk. But online that we can do is history of Pilates, philosophy of Joseph Pilates. Why did he come up with this? What circumstances he came from Germany, from UK, went to Germany, and from Germany came to USA. And initially, for example, just as an interesting thing, everybody in America, in India, when we brought Pilates to India in 2008, 2009, they said, it's a sissy thing. It's meant only for girls. It's only meant for dancers. That's not so. In Germany, from UK after World War I, when he went back to Germany, his first 3 major celebrity clients were the then world champion, boxing champion, and bodybuilding champion. It's very interesting. It's just that when he migrated from Germany to New York, he happened to get an apartment, I think, in Broadway, which was then the center of ballet dancing. All the theaters and the studios were there. So the ballet dancers became his first clients in New York. But any bodybuilder who has done Pilates, Saima probably will be chuckling and smiling now. Strength athletes, you will find that at the end of 35 seconds, their hands start shivering and they fall down, because this requires a different type of strength. So physiology of strength, kinesiology of Pilates, kinesiology of Pilates, Pilates for special populations and for sports. These are the topics that we'll be doing thoroughly online. In addition to theory and practice of fitness. For example, there are 16 types of fitness, 16 fitness goals. Weight training and Pilates are the most common types of exercise formats that are used to help your clients achieve any of those 16 fitness goals. Fitness assessment and periodization, it is now, these are topics which are now compulsory as per international guidelines. Diet and nutrition, which has become compulsory since just 2 days ago. I wish they had given me 1 month so that I could have increased the Pilates course fee, but I cannot increase it now that I've already declared the fee. So you guys are lucky. So those who are not there, but who are asked me to send a message, I mean, so message me saying that they want to recording of this overview. I will tell them that, look, don't ask me for more discount, because I'm not asking you to pay more fee for a full-fledged diet and nutrition 14 module online sessions, for which I charge 7,500 rupees separately anyway. So you are going to get it free now. Exercise and fitness psychology, for which you will get a certificate. First aid and CPR with AD, you will get a certificate. Okay, and online Saima ma'am is going to explain to you all the 140. I'm not sure she'll be the one to tell you whether she will do all the 145 Pilates exercises online, because we have the videos, or whether she will do the what are known as the foundation exercises, and then of course the variations you practice at home. But as I mentioned to you earlier, you have to do, whether it's online, yes, but offline you will have to do at least 2 days to get the nuances correct, the posture, the scoop, the imprint. That probably I'll ask her to explain a little later. So it's online plus in person plus home study. Now, if I mentioned home, yes. So your schedule is going to be something like this. Hopefully, if all agree, I mean, once Saima ma'am and we agree, depending on our other commitments, probably we can start as early as this coming Wednesday, day after, in the next 3 days. There will be a total, don't get scared, don't run away. There will be a total of 35 to 40 Zoom sessions. All the sessions don't have to be attended now, one by, back to back. It is not that you're going to be occupied for the next 10 weeks or 12 weeks. Some of the courses, now, for example, psychology, diet and nutrition, theory of fitness assessment, they are all parts of our ongoing EREPS level 4 Mumbai University personal trainer course. So when that course starts, you are welcome. I'll let you know, so you are welcome to come and sit on those online sessions. Okay. The actual sessions relating to Pilates may be around maybe 14 to 15. That let's keep it as 14 to 15. Guided home study, and of course, yes, online recordings will be made available to you via YouTube. That we have been doing ever since March 2020, when COVID started, whether it's for fitness center management course, a bodybuilding coaching program, or strength and conditioning, or personal trainer course. All our courses, they are uploaded on YouTube, and that concerned particular batch gets the specific course batch related YouTube links. So you can keep revising, visiting the YouTube links and practicing, because that's very easy to, it's visually very useful, effective for revision. You also have guided home study. You will have to practice in the gym, studio, wherever you are, and send us the videos. There are not too many videos to be sent, but then Saima, she also needs to have, you don't have to send hundreds of videos, but she would like to see, correct your posture, correct your technique. Then you have some practice after practice videos and some assignments. And finally, in person, maybe it could be 2 days, Pilates on mat exercises. She will explain to the nuances, the concept, principles of Pilates. And then, of course, for first aid CPR is another thing. I can't teach you how to compress the chest on sitting online. It's not possible. So these are the things that you need to keep this in mind. This is the schedule. Hopefully, I think Sai is ready. There are 1 or 2 other students who have already made the enrollments. I will like to start the course as soon as is possible, because sooner we start, sooner we end. I think we've already mentioned this. This is how the exam takes place. This is an exam going on in the last batch. This is an exam going on, okay? This was an online course. This was an online course, which, as I mentioned, I think Saima ma'am taught 2 days, and then I think the next weekend there was the exam. Exam was video recorded, because tomorrow the University of Mumbai can ask me, or EREPS in Brussels can ask me, how was the exam done? Did you guys really pass these people just like that without taking the exam, or whatever it is? I see. And finally, the point is, we are not here to make you lose fat or develop a six-pack or run a marathon race. We are here to give you, try to make you a good communicator, a good teacher. So Saima ma'am will ensure that she gives you good teaching practice, because when you see her teach, you will really understand what teaching is all about. So that's one thing I want you guys to keep in, that the practical exam is not just to demonstrate one particular exercise. The practical exam is where we want you to teach. And not now in the last recent years, but we have Pilates teachers, students who became teachers who are visually challenged. They're blind. We have in Bangalore, we have teachers who are physically challenged. One was with polio, the other one had no leg at all. But they turned out to be successful, very successful Pilates teachers in Bangalore. Both are in Bangalore. So there are some people with physical liability, medical conditions, but they can still become good Pilates teachers. Ultimately, it's your communication skills. Okay. And that's frequently asked question is, how I am a personal trainer. I'm a bodybuilder. I'm a personal trainer. How will Pilates help me? My answer is twofold. To become a personal trainer, you do not have to be a bodybuilder. You could be anything. It could be I could have any other background. Either way, if you are a bodybuilder, Pilates will help you strengthen your core muscles. Stronger your core, the more you will lift. The more you will lift, bigger the size of your muscles. Simple, right? As a personal trainer, or as a dance teacher, or as a yoga teacher, or a fitness professional, or a martial art teacher, you have to communicate. I'm not selling a cup of tea like a chai wala, right? Or like a pan ki dukan mein, when that we go to buy a pan, that pan wala does not even look at you. He just ties the pan and gives it, and you keep the money and go. There's no eye-to-eye contact. Pilates is all about communication. That is why across the world, even in Mumbai, Pilates teachers earn 30 to 40% more than a typical personal trainer, because Pilates helps you teach, communicate better, not only one-on-one in a personal training environment, but also in a group environment. So imagine teaching Pilates, the details of the position of the fingers, the imprint, the scoop, things like that, to 10 people in a group. So when you practice teaching 10 people in a group, so imagine how good your teaching skills will become as a personal trainer. So your income as a personal trainer also goes up. So there are a lot of benefits of teaching Pilates. And as I mentioned, finally, I think I come to the last. Sorry. Learning, I'll come to the learning materials. What do we give you? Well, depending on the course that you're doing, we give you a textbook, Pilates on mat. Pilates on mat, in the early days, we had two separate courses, Pilates, basic Pilates, and advanced Pilates. Now, again, to all my friends who are asking for, of course, they stopped asking for discounts now. The basic foundation level 1 Pilates, 10 years ago, we were charging 27,000 rupees. And for the advanced Pilates, we were charging 15,000 rupees. Now, how much is that? 42,000. Today, we are giving the same combined thing for including GST. You check what we are charging. So Pilates on mat, that's the full-fledged foundation plus advanced. Pilates on ball, as per the course, you get the textbook. For Pilates on mat, we give you approximately 145 to 150 Pilates exercises. You also get videos, etc., for the kinesiology, the anatomy of Pilates modules. Offline, we say bilingual, but normally, yes, Saima ma'am is going to teach in English and Hindi, and of course, probably if you understand Telugu, probably she'll teach in Telugu. I don't know, I'm not sure. But the other frequently asked question is, who has approved a syllabus? I'm very proud to say it's the University of Mumbai. There's no doubt about it. And European Register of Exercise Professionals in Brussels. Original syllabus was from the Pilates Institute of America as designed by Lolita San Miguel. Who is the certifying authority? The certificate will come from the University of Mumbai through the jointly certified by the BPC or Physical Education Department and Gayo, our academy. Is it accepted nationally and internationally? Yes. I'm very happy to say at least in 45 countries. In fact, Saima ma'am did this Kerala batch in March, I think, end of March. Two students, Biju is one of them, who was teaching in Bangalore, has gone to Dubai to teach. That guy's got two EREPS level 4. That's UAE reps, that much sought after cards, category A cards for personal trainer and also for Pilates. So we are accepted internationally and nationally. And yes, I'm very happy to say that since 2009, we brought structured formal Pilates education to India. Yes, there are other people also teaching. I do not deny that. I mean, for example, Stott Pilates in Bangalore, also in Mumbai, I think. Balance Body also has got its own course and all that. But they're all equipment specific. They are very good courses. I will not deny that. All courses are good. But there's courses specific to their equipment. While what we teach is traditionally been known as equipment neutral. Means what we teach, what Saima ma'am will teach you, can be applied on any kind of equipment. In any case, at the moment, we are starting an ordinary yoga mat, right? Pilates mat. So let's start with that. And then we'll come to the ball is a ball, stability ball. Which ball stability or a Swiss ball you should be using or your client should be using, well, that doesn't depend on the brand, whether it is Chinese made or Reebok made or purchased in Decathlon or online through Amazon. It all depends on your height and the diameter of the ball. All that we will teach as we go ahead. The fees, of course, I think these are what the fees are, but already specially pre-discounted for this specific batch only. We really don't like to give discount because we like people to respect education. We are like a university or a college. We don't go and ask discounts to a college. I don't go to University of Mumbai and say, no, we are 10 of us doing BCom, so give me discount. Same thing here. But here we decided to give a special pre-discount because of certain reasons we anticipated. We wanted to finish this particular batch in time so that the new batch at a higher fee could start with the nutrition program. Unfortunately, the nutrition thing came in the middle of this batch. So I said, okay, once we have given the word to our new members of the family, I don't want to ditch them now. So the combo thing continues. But remember one thing, this 29,500 is what was the cost of just Pilates on mat. Somebody asked me whether this combo thing will be available in the next, after a couple of months. No, it's not going to be available. But remember what you guys are going to get in it. First aid and CPR, nutrition, diet and nutrition, which itself was all kinds of other things that you are going to get. And finally, it is internationally accepted, all that I've already mentioned. What do we teach? How do we teach? What are the videos? This is where Saima herself shot these videos. Let's watch the heroine in action. Okay, that is a short glimpse of Saima teaching you like these. I think there are 145, no? Am I right? Or 149, I don't know. Plus, we got videos for kinesiology and biomechanics. Those are not counted into this at all. So Online teaching becomes easier for us. As I was telling Srinivas earlier, online teaching for us is easier because when Saima ma'am will teach, either she will demonstrate it herself, or better, probably she will show this video, then she'll make you do it. And that is one thing I want to tell you guys. If you want to do online Pilates, it is not just sitting at a table and doing and having chai or ice cream or please. Then I want you to be in your workout kit and be ready to do practice. When she's teaching, I want you to be the student and practice. Okay, unless like Sai, for example, I can imagine at the end of 8 hours of flying, you're still up and about and watching, or you're flying somewhere above. Somewhere over Europe in the middle of the aircraft, you can't be practicing Pilates. I understand that. It's not possible. But I want you guys to really take online things seriously. It is not that it happens. I've seen it happen. You can easily switch that video off and then go to sleep or sit in your boxer shorts or munda dhoti. I've seen it happen in other courses. I don't want that to happen. I mean, respect education. You are paying the fee. Don't ask for a discount. Ask for how much value can this course give you. And I can guarantee you that much, because no student of ours in Pilates has ever said, has been ever disappointed. In fact, even I think there are 3 or 4 gym, what do you call them? Pilates studio owners were asking me even last 3 days, please send us Pilates teachers. We want Pilates teachers. Because that's another typical thing in India. I want to invest money in, because I have the money, I invest money in Pilates studio, but I don't know Pilates. So it's very interesting. For those kind of people, we have another course called Fitness Center Management course. So I told that girl, first do a Fitness Center Management course, then I'll send you Pilates teachers. So, I mean, there's a huge amount of demand. There are in multinational banks who have asked me to put up that. Of course, I'll speak to Saima ma'am tomorrow morning. Where they want to actually supply Pilates teachers for corporate fitness. So there's a huge demand for this. Okay, and the last thing before you can ask me questions. Look, we are 5 people. What discount? You are not buying 10 mangoes in the mandi market, right? So let's respect education. This is particularly for those 3 or 4 who wanted me to send this link. So I referred to them. Look at the money, the energy, time, and fee that you are spending is an investment. It is not an expenditure. These are not an expense. They are not liability. In the fitness business, Pilates is the lowest investment. You need 10 feet by 10 feet, and you need 200-300 rupees, 300-400 rupees worth of mats. That's all you require. And it has got the highest return on investment, ROI. If anybody wants to know the formula for calculating the return on investment, please feel free to WhatsApp me separately. I'll send you the formula. It is the highest return of investment. That is why in America, even before COVID, and now many of the large gyms are closing down. They're not closing down, sorry, they're downsizing. 60,000, average size of an American gym is 60,000 or 70,000 square feet. They're turning into smaller ones. And what is coming up in that place? Pilates studios and group exercise studios. It's very interesting. It is Pilates and group exercise which are driving numbers, not personal training. Personal training is one-on-one. One trainer brings one client, right? In group exercise in Pilates, it's a group exercise format. And unlike group exercise, which is meant for groups, 3 or more, Pilates is for personal training and also for group. Pilates can be done in our beautiful municipal parks in Mumbai, or on the beach, in the park, or wherever. And the return of the investment is very, very high. It is more than 35 to 40%. I'm being conservative. So the return on investment is very, very, very high. Don't look at the fee that you spend as a kharcha. It will be not expenditure. It will be waste. It will be waste if you do not become proactive and market yourself and develop this business of Pilates. There, like in other courses, like in the case of other students, I'm there to help you develop your business. If I get any leads for Pilates teachers, I'll pass it on. How do you promote, market yourself as a Pilates teacher? If I mean, there are ways of doing it. Not Instagram. I'm sorry. Social media is great. Social media is not there to give you localized, your suburb specific Pilates clients. You need to do something which is very, very specific. That I will tell you once at the end of the course. So you have to market yourself. Money well spent is when you can start getting recovering money from the investment, right? That I will help you at the end of it. So this is where my little presentation ends. Saima, will you like to add some points here?
Yes, of course. Hi,
Hi.
everybody. So I think Dilip sir has covered the most of it. Um, so yes, the one thing about this whole course being online and everybody having this keen interest on doing online is um, the theory part of it. Yes, of course, we can majorly cover it online, but also the theory is very much related to what is practical. Even
Correct.
if I'm going to tell you what the core muscles are, even if I'm going to mention how to use your core muscles or where your core muscles are and everything, that is just very limited. Because all of what I teach you in theory is actually what you would do practically to understand, which is more comfortable when you are right in front of me or we are, in person. Why? Because what I understand of core out of my practice and how I am able to identify my muscles, you may not be able to connect. Why do I say that? Of course, you all are personal trainers, you all are fitness coaches, and we all know the anatomy. But you would be surprised to understand what you have been thinking and understanding about core is absolutely different when you practice Pilates. The body still remains the same, your anatomy still remains the same, but what are the core muscles we are referring to? Where are your pelvic floor muscles? Do we know what the use of pelvic floor muscles are? How do you activate them? And why is it so important? Because this exercise form requires you to use mainly 3 to 4 muscles only. Those 3 to 4 muscles are the muscles that help you do every exercise, every movement. Okay. And this is a form of an exercise which is a mind body connection. It is your mind to your muscle connection. So when you understand what I'm asking you to activate, where your core is, how you use your muscles, and then you're able to do it with a movement in person, obviously it becomes far more easier. So it is not just a set of 145 exercises with modifications and everything. These are a set of exercises. But realistically speaking, you all are personal trainers. Like Gatha, I had spoken to her the other day. Now, it is not restricted to if you are a female coach or you are a male coach. We are coaches, just like doctors, you cater to men, you cater to women, everybody. Now, here you need to understand these are exercises which are specific to strengthening your core. That is all we always talk about. It is strengthening your core. It is building up on strength. It is a low impact exercise. But whom am I going to teach all this to? Who is it that's going to come and ask me for Pilates? Nobody's going to come and ask you for Pilates. Even if they are referring to the fancier things like the equipment. But as a coach, what is it that you need to know? You need to know the importance of how this exercise can fit in my lifestyle, in my workout routine. Okay, so you could be a bodybuilder, you could be an athlete, or you could be a regular person just who wants to take care of his fitness. So how is this going to build up? You have people who are injured, who are recovering from an injury, so they have a setback in their routine, in their fitness routine. So are you going to tell them not to work out completely, or are you going to introduce a form of an exercise which is a rehab for them to be able to continue exercise in a different form? Okay, so even if you have power lifters, even if you have athletes, we all have core that we work on in a different manner which is specific to what your requirement is. Now, you see a lot of power lifters, they have good ability to lift and everything. But when you work on the core, incontinence is one very major thing for which you need to understand firstly what incontinence is, what is the muscle that becomes weak in order to be able to take care of incontinence, and does incontinence only happen to women? Does it not happen to men? If it is a person who is not
True.
into fitness, she is a regular homemaker, has absolutely no clue, somebody postpartum, how can I fit this exercise into your routine? So me as a personal trainer, what is it When I call myself a personal trainer, I am trying to personalize an exercise regime for you. So I am not coming with a set of exercises, ki this is what you need to do, and this is how it is done. I do not believe in this line that this is how it is done. If I have 10 people in my class and 10 people come from 10 different backgrounds, you already are coming with preconceived notions of what fitness is, what your anatomy is, and how to use your core. Here, I am trying to help you unlearn to learn something in a different manner. And when you learn this in a different manner, believe me, you will always carry this into every exercise routine that you do. So when I say that, like I was talking to Gatha, when you do yoga, yoga does not require you to use your core anywhere in yoga. Yoga is about strength. And there always is a comparison. Why? Because whether you are doing body weight exercises, whether you're doing yoga, whether you're doing calisthenics, whether you're doing Pilates, all of these movements are the same. The exercises will always remain the same with your body. But what is the difference between practicing yoga and practicing Pilates? In yoga, it is all about going inwards, building up on that, mental peace and the strength and trying to calm yourself down. So there is no use of your core over here. Okay, but when you're trying to do inversions, obviously you need to build upon strength. Even in that aspect, you are asked to use your core differently. But when you practice Pilates, it is a very simple example I always give. If I do not light my stuff, I cannot cook the food. So your ignition needs to be on. I cannot say no flame, but I still want the food to be cooked. You will understand that yourself. If you do not activate your core, you could be 20 people in a class, but I can point that one person out and say, you are not activated your pelvic floor muscle, because it becomes very obvious. Your body shows it. And there is no movement happening. So that is the beauty of this exercise. You don't need to be doing a movement. You just need to activate your pelvic floor muscles, and you will constantly keep hearing this. Your pelvic floor muscles, use your pelvic floor muscles, activate your. So there is no thing as core engage karo and everything that you've been listening for the longest time. And believe me when I tell you this, I have men who attend my sessions. So gyms generally do not really entertain a lot of yoga and Pilates, but now it is picking up. Why? Because you must be doing your hanging leg raises, right? That is how you build up on your six-pack ab. You have your set of exercises that you want to do. But why do I mention hanging leg raises? If you're doing a hanging leg raise, there is no way possible you cannot activate your pelvic floor muscles in order to not swing. So you have to keep your body stable to only lift your legs up. So when you are doing that, you obviously are using your pelvic floor muscles, but you're not aware. Now, pelvic floor muscles are the same for men and the same for women. But how do I understand? How do I breathe? And breathing is the biggest part of this exercise, which sets it apart from any other form of exercise. So you may ask, what is so different about breathing? We all breathe, have been breathing, and that is the source of, your life force or energy. But you will be surprised from the time you're born till now, how much your breath has been modified according to your lifestyle. And when I say that, most of the time you're not aware of the posture you're sitting in, the mental state that you have. Hence, your breath is never optimum. We are always in short breath. Short breath is only working from your chest upwards. You are never going all the way down to your abdomen, activating your core, trying to expand your rib cage, making all of that space for your lung. You are just breathing, but just breathing doesn't work. So how is it very different? So the breath work that you do in this is actually the way of breathing in our day-to-day life. So when I say this, when I teach you the exercises, yes, there are a certain set of exercises that we have. But these exercises, how do they aid you in back pain? How can they help you eliminate back pain or avoid backache? So something as simple as somebody walking into a class, my group session probably, and saying that they've been experiencing back pain for an extremely long time. They've been to the physio, they've done a lot of exercises, and they fixed it. But what they've not understood and fixed is how to breathe. So when that breath work comes into place, because breathing is not just in your lungs, and that's not where it's happening. There is a lot of activation that you need to do. Again, I mentioned your pelvic floor muscle. Then you have your multifidus muscle, which runs along the length of your spine. Now, I am going to technically keep using these words because you as a coach needs to understand that. No, you don't need to go and tell that to your client. Clients don't understand that. It doesn't matter to them. But when you help them understand in relative terms, like pull your navel to your spine, it is like a belt that you keep hooking into the, the lowest. If you're a size 30, maybe you want to get to a size 26. So how much are you going to pull your navel to your spine? So these things become very relative. And this is an exercise which requires a lot of talking. So if you ever think, I want to learn this exercise, so Turant I can go and teach it. No, I always tell people, when you learn it, don't learn it from the perspective of tomorrow I will teach. So people specifically, ma'am, back pain ke liye kaun se exercise hai? There are millions of exercises and all exercises are the same if you Google them, whether it's yoga, whether it's functional, whether it's rehab, they're all. But what is different? The difference is, how am I breathing? When I talk about breath, I talk about your pelvic floor muscles. I talk about your multifidus muscle. I talk about your TVA muscles. So it is very beautiful. A person who is postpartum. So these days people say, I want to learn Pilates because I have this postpartum client. But what about the postpartum? Do you understand what is diastasis recti? Do you understand the anatomy of human body, what happens to your body, and how do we need to get it back into its place? So all these things are something that you need to understand, because you will have people from your experiences itself, and in person, this is what I can help you, because we have that time. Because online, when I'm going to be teaching you, and I am extremely particular about cameras on, I don't want you attending a session, putting your camera off, going somewhere else, and I'm teaching, because all that you're watching is already done by me. Again, I'm going to be demonstrating the same thing. But after that, I always have people asking me, ma'am, this is not understood, that is not understood, I have this client. So you have basic issues. You've got cervical spondylitis, lumbar spondylitis, you've got people with incontinence, and they're apprehensive to come and ask you these things. But when you understand and you just add it as, a condiment in a meal, that, this is also what I have to serve you, this sets you apart. So when we are talking about Pilates, we are not talking about, am I going to be doing mat 1, mat 2, can I start teaching? Yes, of course you can start teaching. But what is it that you will understand when you understand and practice the exercises completely in person is all the doubts that you have. And believe me when I tell you, when you do mat, reformer becomes easy. Because if you have not learned to crawl and stand on your feet and fall several times, you will not have the strength in your feet to be able to walk properly. So you need to understand the basics and the foundation on mat. And the Swiss ball that you have been forever using, if you have ever used it for yourself or your clients, you will be surprised to understand how intense that ball can become. Like, it is extremely intense. So what are we following on the ball? You are basically only following the mat. What are we following of the mat? The principles of activating your core. So there are just a handful of core, the muscles that we use in the core, and there is nothing else. These same muscles, you understand how to activate them. Henceforth, you do any exercise, even it could be your weight training, anything as simple as a bicep curl, that becomes very intense for you. So understanding the core, understanding the theory part, it's very simple, it's very easy. Yes, obviously, it's not going to take a lot of time, along with the history, and men are very apprehensive to perform this exercise. Why? Because men want to have something that adds more weight, makes them feel very masculine. But believe me when I tell you, I don't want to be too boastful about it. I see men shivering when they do something as simple as holding your core. I mean, I'm sure you have abs. That's what I tell them. Just because you have abs, and believe me when I tell you this, because you have abs, curl becomes difficult because you already have a very contracted rectus abdominis. But when you understand how to use your pelvic floor muscles, that movement becomes intense and smooth. But yes, being all built makes you look strong, but internally what has to be strong is yet to be worked upon. So yes, men need to practice this as much as we women. And this is exercise is not specific to men or women. at all. So this was invented by a man. So yes, 100% men should practice this exercise. And again, in your yoga, in our fitness background, from wherever, you could be a personal trainer at the gym, etc. A lot of times, language is not given a lot of importance. You can still make do. Instead, you can do the exercise and show a person. Believe me when I tell you, in my exercise classes, you will hardly see me on a mat, because if I'm going to be doing and you're going to be tilting and seeing, your core is gone. So there is no seeing. That is why I always tell people this exercise enhances your ability to hear, imagine, and do, which is something that we all lack in today's time. We want to just see and do it. So this actually helps you imagine, what is she telling me? How am I supposed to do it? And that is the beauty of this exercise. So yes, for that, you need to have language. Language is extremely important, because there are certain things that are supposed to be spoken in a certain manner. And obviously, because this is an exercise form wherein you need to touch and correct, those mannerisms also come into place, because obviously you have to be very ethical about touching a female client, or a female client teaching a male client, how you're supposed to be. Now, all of these things online, this is only as much as I can tell you. But can you understand this with me as a person in front of you? Believe me, it will only add 10x to your investment. And as much as sir has been talking about discount, I always fight with him, stop giving discount to people, because I know the worth of what I teach. Yes, there are hundreds of teachers and they must be 100 million times better. But how I have always wanted to learn is how I always teach people. So you will have little to no doubt left after that. Because every exercise, or not only modification, with all the medical concerns possible also will be taken care. And only that is up to my understanding, because obviously I'm not a medical professional, but closely working with physios, this is what has helped. And also when physios attend these sessions, which we have, and Dilip sir knows, when physios attend these sessions, believe me, I am surprised to see them not being able to activate their core. So as a job, as a physio, you know how to train people, how to fix them. But when it comes to you, obviously we all lack that a little bit of an understanding. So yes, understanding anatomy, actually what it is supposed to be, the basic muscles that you are supposed to know as a coach, understand how to make it very relative to a client, okay? And related to a client is in their language, and whatever helps you make them understand. So there are very specific things that I tell you. Imagine you're wearing a size small jeans. Everybody gets that idea. Ki pet ko andar kheenchna hai. We all understand. We've all been there. I want to wear a size small jeans, which I used to fit into. So now what am I going to do? Am I going to hold my breath for that 5-10 minutes of wearing that size small jeans? No. So then what is the relativity to that? So all of these things, when we are in person, it becomes very, very enjoyable, entertaining, because obviously, there's only so much we can have with this distance. So I would urge you all to spare that little time in person ke liye bhi, as long as you will, understand and do it online. So when we are there offline, as and when Dilip sir will conduct the session, then everything that you've learned online will only be a brush up, right? So this is what I have, and this is what I will be teaching. And yes, you will learn a lot more than just the exercises. So any doubts that you have, any preconceived notions, people, especially from a yoga background, have a lot of unlearning to do. Kyuki breathing, because we all breathe like we are going to be levitating, but that's not how you breathe. That's not how you breathe. So yeah, small little nuances that can be, addressed, and a lot more. So yeah. So that is basically what I will be doing, and that's about it. If you have any doubts, please feel free to ask.
Anyone, Sai, Srivas?
No, so I think so all the doubts and everything has been cleared perfectly to the T.
Thank you. Gata, of course, Gata is in touch with you, and the others, I think, will probably be in touch with me by tomorrow. I'll share the link with them this afternoon, and we'll take it further. But I think we'd like to start this week itself, because there are already 3, I think, who have made the payment. I don't want to punish them for the sake of the hesitation on the part of the others. So let's see what can be done. But tomorrow
I think
I think
Gatha wants to say something.
yes, Agatha, sorry, I can't see you. Sorry.
Yes, no problem, sir. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, ma'am, for elaborating so in detail. Just I have one concern as I'm traveling next for the 10 days. So is it anything like I can get the recording, or then I can catch up?
Recordings are always there, right? Yeah.
Yeah. In fact,
Every session is recorded.
everything, that's what I said, Agatha, even in my messages to you, and even here we mentioned, see here, every online, including what, for example, I'll send you the recording of this session itself. It is first and foremost recorded on cloud on Zoom. Okay. Then our office will download it or upload it onto YouTube with a short little description there. And that link will be shared with you. This is normally done within 24 hours of the class happening.
Okay.
If there are technical difficulties, for example, sometimes Zoom servers don't work, or YouTube, I know a lot of internet sometimes doesn't work, but never. We have more than 3,500 recordings on Zoom so far. Maybe 10, 15 have been delayed, but you'll
So
get
this
the
will
recording.
be the weekend sessions only, or
No,
it's a week?
no, online sessions will be normally we are, otherwise if you have only weekend sessions, then this will go on for 5-6 months, and nobody has got that much of time for one course to get over, right? So what we do is, as I mentioned, okay, it's a good question you asked. Some sessions can be attended later. So what we plan to do is probably out of the 35 to 40 sessions, we will be having, let's say, 15 to 20 sessions together, the Pilates specific, where Saima ma'am will be teaching more. The others which are related to nutrition, theory of fitness, first aid and CPR, subjects which are compulsorily part of Pilates, but not directly connected to Pilates, that you can attend a little later. You don't have to worry about that. You understand? That you don't have to worry. But this Pilates specific, like theory of history of Pilates, philosophy of Pilates, these are the topics we would like to start as soon as is possible. These 50, and any case, the others, for example, nutrition, you may not be able to do it right away in the month of June or July. It may come in August, but don't worry about that. But the Pilates specific, the critical ones, we will start as soon as possible.
Okay, so sir, can you fix the duration?
Duration of the entire
Duration of
program.
the whole course, yes.
That now I will sit with Saima ma'am tomorrow morning and I will check up. But as I mentioned, if it will be approximately Monday, Wednesday, Friday, thrice a week. If you look at this around, let's say, as 35 sessions. So how many 10 weeks? So around, let's say, around maximum 3 months.
Yeah.
So if we start,
3 months.
yeah. So, and out of this 3 months, of course, the thing is, let's be very practical. Like all of us have gone to college. It is not possible to have 75% attendance. 50% attendance is what is expected, but let's be practical, because here you get online recordings. But the idea is to practice at least those Pilates specific online sessions where Saima ma'am is going to teach, where she expects you to keep the video on and practice. That is important. If you miss the theory classes, I mean, theory of fitness is something I will teach. If you miss mine, there's no problem. But don't miss her classes. The practical, the online practical session, that's very important. You understand? And you would have seen it yourself. We are, in fact, sometimes I feel I'm too democratic. I consult the students and then try to get the best possible thing. So, but we will ensure that you are the student. To us, the student comes is top priority. Okay, so we will try to finish as because apart from this course, we got so many other courses lined up. Not just Pilates, so many other courses which are dependent on our 2 Zoom licenses. So we have to see the other schedule also, other commitments also. But I would like to start this as soon as is possible. The timetable, probably I'll send it to maybe by Tuesday morning. I'll talk to Saima ma'am tomorrow. And I have to check her timetable, her commitments also, because she's busy otherwise elsewhere. And we'll start the thing. Let's get the ball rolling. And if it was totally offline, in 6 days, we would have finished the whole thing, like the good old days. But that's not happening. So I will keep you informed, but don't worry about there are 2 things you must keep in mind, Gatha. All the recordings will be online, recorded, and so that's one. Number 2, some sessions deliberately will be kept later on. the Pilates specific ones will be earlier. Okay, those you should attend. The theory of fitness or philosophy of course that's important. Nutrition, for example, those will come a little later. They may come even the month of July. So don't worry about all. Because those theory of diet and nutrition, exercise psychology, these are topics which are common to our other courses. So those will be common to where there will be another 30-40 students sitting together. So those timings will be a little different. The days may be different, but it will be normally be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. But you'll be told much in advance. So don't worry about it. But they will be on in the afternoons, Indian time.
And one more, sir, the concern, as I'm living in outside India, so in person is not possible for me.
Where do you live?
UAE.
Perfect.
Dubai.
It's possible. It is eminently possible. We may come and do Saima will come and do a course there in another 6-7 months. We're actually working. Yeah, we're actually working on it. Our personal trainer course will start there in another 4 months' time. So Pilates will soon follow. So don't worry about that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Or somebody else. I mean, there's no doubt because we have a lot of students there. In fact, from Kerala also. In fact, a lot of students who, and we have international accreditation anyway. So we would love to do that course there. So don't worry about that part. I mean, we have a lot of students from UAE who do attend our personal trainer course exactly the way you are doing. All theory is online, practical is offline. Earlier, of course, they would come to do the practical training whenever they came to India. But now we have the permissions to open not only in Dubai but also in Singapore. So that we are working on it. And there's no commitment. I cannot give a deadline on that. Saima ma'am will be in Dubai on 15th of November. I can't give a specific date, but we'll do that.
Okay.
It's good for her, good for me also. Good for you.
Thank you.
But as I said, online, take it seriously. Keep the videos open, practice as if you're in a gym or a studio. Okay. And that for 1 hour or 2 hours, you have to be careful. Then no doorbell rings like in Mumbai, Dhubi Aya, Paval Aya. You can't do all that. You have to focus on, concentrate for a while. Okay, any other questions? Srinivas, Sudeep? I think
If
Srinivas
this is how you go missing, then you will not.
I was just asking,
Srinivas.
like,
Srinivas is there.
we need only mat, right, to do exercise or any other?
Yes, you need only a mat. In fact, quite often the students don't even use a mat. They use ordinary chatai or a floor. It all depends. If
No,
if you're doing it in your own home, I leave it to you. But yes, you need a good mat. You need a good mat.
Okay.
Any yoga mat. Saima.
When you practice Pilates, the thing is, mats have, the width. They're like 5 mm, 10 mm, 6 mm, something like that. 10 to 12 is good enough because they are stable. So the longer that you hold yourself on a mat, it puts less effect on your joints. So if you're going to have those stretchy mats which stretch with your movements and dig holes, they're not going to help you. They're going to be painful for you.
So you got a thicker one anyway.
Yeah, you get that one in Decathlon, wherever
Decathlon,
you guys are.
Yeah.
It's really nice. They have, I think that's less than 10 mm or something. Yeah. Very durable.
And I think for Pilates, normally you don't wear shoes. You do not wear shoes. You are barefoot or wear socks.
And even those socks, like even for those socks, they have these, those are grip socks.
Anti-slip, yeah.
Anti-skid ones.
So
Yeah.
as beginners, it's better you don't wear anything. You understand how to just use your hand and feet. And yes, because we are not used to this kind of an exercise and movement and the postures that we use, your feet, you will find yourself cramping too much, your toes going all wiggly and twisting, because those are the minutest muscles. If I've missed on telling this, why are you practicing Pilates? Those work the minutest muscles in your body. You're not aware and you practically cannot work out on a gym. So a lot of times in the session, you find people's toes, cramping and their feet becoming all weird. There's just a part and parcel till you get used to it. So yeah, try not.
We are using that micro muscles.
Yes,
yes,
that's
absolutely.
Right. Yeah, because in weight training, you normally use what we call gross muscles.
Gross.
In fact, I have to keep telling our students in person, take a tennis ball and at least use your them to exercise the finger muscles, something like that. How many of us exercise our toe muscles? In the old days, when we were kids, we would lift a handkerchief with our toes. Now nobody does that. So
I walk on the toe.
you are a martial guy, but a martial artist. But
So
in
we are
Pilates,
more into train in floor. We don't use
yeah,
mat
you
or
are correct. So you will find it a little easier compared to guys who wear fancy kids to do a barbell squat. And that kind
Even
of
when I was small, I used to play football. I used to play barefoot.
barefoot. Yeah,
Without shoes is very difficult for me.
I
So I'm
know. I
more
can imagine.
comfortable barefoot.
Barefoot. Okay, Saima, any other questions? Gata, be in touch with us. Sai, of course, you're already there. And Srinivas, you also. Sudeep,
Yes.
all you guys be in touch with us. And thank you, Saima, for your very eloquent talk. And I think you should be speaking every day like this. Very nice.
Every day
Thank you,
there's a
Sai.
new batch, then yes,
So,
of course.
Saima, I have just one question about the breathing you're talking about, because
Yeah.
I do meditation. So we have taught you have to breathe from your stomach. So normally it is even doing the certain exercise, we have to breathe from the stomach.
Okay, pehle to stomach is an organ inside our abdomen. Okay. When you are talking about breathing and you're talking about meditation, in yoga, you've got belly breathing, you've got diaphragmatic breathing, you've got chest breathing, and then what you call the yogic breath, which is your clavicular breathing. Most of the time, we human beings are only stuck to either chest breathing or diaphragmatic breathing, unless and until you are supremely stressed, then you take an abdominal or a belly breath.
Bellow breathing.
Yes, a belly breath. But when you are belly breathing also, meditation mein aapko, unless there is a specific way of meditation is different, breathing exercises are different. Meditation, you're just focusing inwards. So breath work has to be very shant, it has to be very calming, it has to be helping you focus inwards in your meditation. But when you are talking about how am I supposed to breathe while I'm meditating, you are supposed to be breathing the Pilates way. Your ribs are supposed to expand and they're supposed to collapse. So that is a complete abdominal breath that goes all the way to your lungs. So aise leke yahan T breath is wrong, like your shoulders you lift your shoulders up and you drop your breath back into your abdomen. That breath is wrong. That is not how you do. So that is one thing that you would understand. That takes a little while. So there are many tips and tricks that I help you to understand kaise you work on expanding your rib cage when you breathe. I hope that answers.
It's
Because
very
while
interesting.
lifting weights, even when you do in the gym and we doing something squats or something, barbell squats, we need to focus on even in our breathing to lift that much heavy.
Yeah, see, actually in weight training, in weight training, there are 5 different types of breathing. The normal conventional is when you lift a weight or when you contract the muscle, you exhale. But that is just the basic weight breathing technique for weight training. But there are 5 different ways of including that advanced Valsalva maneuver. But there are different ways of doing it. The power lifter, weight lifter will do a little differently, and so on and so forth. In India, most people do only one. That is exhale when you exert. When you apply force, you exhale. But there are actually 5. So when you do the advanced, later on, if you want to do the other course, that time Ratnadev will probably teach you, or I'll come and teach you the breathing pattern. But generally speaking, every physical exercise format has got its own breathing pattern. And I don't know, I may be wrong. Saima ma'am will correct me. But I remember talking to Dr. Ghorote of Lonavala Yoga Institute. He says yoga really does not have any specific breathing pattern. So when I asked him about Surya Namaskar, he said Surya Namaskar is not a yoga, period. Which is true actually. So, but the point is, talking about kettlebells, for example, kettlebells is getting popular. Not in India, not in Western India, but in Eastern India and North India, it's very, Northeast is very popular. Kettlebell, they use what is called anatomical breathing. You breathe naturally. Okay. In weight training, when you apply the force, when I lift the weight, I exhale. That is called paradoxical breathing. So when Saima ma'am teaches you in the class, that breathing thing, actually that class will leave you breathless at the end of her class. It's a topic by itself. So Pilates has got its own system of breathing. So it's very interesting. Many of these I got running, for example, running has got its own system of technique of breathing. So it's very, very interesting. You know? So that's a good question you asked. I don't know how it is in martial art, but for explosive,
Martial art is more shallow breathing because you have to
but you have the
quickly
TI,
breathe in, breathe out, and
you have that
very fast.
explosive. Yeah, at the point of explosive force, application of explosive force, you breathe out, no? Exhale, am I right?
Yes.
Like the way tennis players do. That's why they keep screaming their guts out in on the tennis court. That's how it is. But that's a very interesting thing that we will discuss in great detail later on. Maybe we can develop a new certificate course in breathing. Okay, any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay,
Absolutely.
nearing Sunday lunchtime. Saima ma'am must be missing her biryani now. Okay, Gatha, be in touch with us. Srinivas, you too. Sai, of course, you're always in touch. And thank you for being with us. Shows your sincerity and keenness to do the Pilates course. Other four, of course, after that, one more here. So all four are interested. So let's see what happens. And Gatha, by Tuesday morning, I'll send you the timetable. I'll consult Saima ma'am tomorrow morning and fix the timetable.
Yeah,
okay?
Initially I can't attend the perfect timing, but then after my travel finish, I will surely attend.
Okay, no issues. We'll work that out. Okay. Okay. Thank you,
All right.
Saima. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you
Bye.
so
See you.
much,
Bye-bye.
sir. Thank you,
Bye.
Saima. Thank you for your
Bye-bye.
insight.